Okay, let's see. Hopefully we are on. Let's see. I will open up the browser. So hopefully I'll be able to see. I'll write my good evening. Start everything off. Ava says hello. Alright, so I know I'm on Facebook. If anybody's on YouTube, just give me a shout and see. Cassandra says hi, everyone. Alright, alright. And if anybody's on YouTube, just give me a shout here. But we got a few minutes. We got 2 minutes. 2 minutes. And then we'll be starting the pre-show. Okay. Ava, are you able to look on YouTube to see if it's on YouTube playing? Okay, thank you. David says, champagne still chilling. All right, chilling on a chiller night. Joseph says, good evening. Oh, John answered us. He says, hello from New Jersey again. Well, thank you, John. Thank you for joining us. We were wondering if I was on YouTube. This whole system's been acting up here recently, which leads me to wonder sometimes. So Beverly says good evening. Good evening, Beverly. Thanks for joining us tonight. And we are almost at the top of the hour at 8 o'clock, where we will promptly begin. John says yes. So good. Everything seems to be working well here with Facebook and with YouTube. So that's good news. Good news. All right, top of the hour is coming up in about 3 seconds. And here we go. Okay, hey everybody, I am Bryan Hogue. Welcome to the Chiller Night Live pre-show from 8 until 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I talk to you, I interact with you, the viewers, and we talk about the schedule for tonight's Chiller Night programming on Stream TV, and which comes on at 9 p.m. So we usually cut out a few minutes before that so that people can switch over. And I'm reading now. Ava asked me, do you still need me to check? Now that's in reference to, I asked her to check YouTube. No, I do not need you to check that. Because we have Joseph on YouTube and we have everybody else here on Facebook. So everything seems to be functioning properly except for my sinuses. So I'm a little under the weather tonight for whatever reason. Don't know. But hit me again. I just want to be over this. But anyways, we're gonna make it, folks. Terrence says good evening. Well, good evening, Terrence. Thanks for joining us. Let's see. David, champagne is popped and poured. All right. Tom says, hi all. Hey, Tom. We're going to be talking to Tom here in a little while, very shortly, about Gross Fest coming up this summer. And Brad says, it's the Chiller Night pre-show with Bryan Hogue, starring Bryan Hogue. And now here's Bryan. Here I am. There you are. Here we are together on this Chiller Night. So, Nick says, yo. Hey, Nick. Thanks for joining us. Well, excuse me, everybody. The schedule for tonight. Now at 9 o'clock, we're going to be going over the schedule for the Chiller Night Theater and Chiller Chat programs coming on at 9. So let me pull up that schedule. Ba-boom. Okay, 9 p.m. Chiller Night Theater. We will be playing Bucket of Blood. Now this will be the TV edited version of the show that we did last Friday night. Bucket of Blood. So I think you're going to enjoy that. 11 p.m. Chiller Chat. My guest tonight is Brian Seach. And this one, I think we did this one back in October. It'll say at the beginning. And then 11:30, Chiller Night Theater. The movie is The Bat, starring Vincent Price and Agnes Moorehead. And 1:30 a.m. Chiller Chat. My guest is the late George Costanza, who played, of course, Sheriff McClellan on Night of the Living Dead. 2 a.m. Chiller Night Theater. Once again, to top off the evening, the movie is A Bucket of Blood. All right, so there you have it, folks. And I have the trailer for Bucket of Blood, but we just saw it Friday, so I'll probably ixnay the trailer for tonight. Oh, Brad says, "What's on tonight?" That's what we just went over that. Let's see. Leroy says, "Hey, hey, hey." Douglas says, "Hey, buddy, how you like the orbs I sent you?" Oh, those are pretty cool. Douglas is now we had Douglas on Chiller Chat, an episode of Chiller Chat where he and his team went out and they do the paranormal investigation. So he sent me some pictures very recently of some orbs. So we'll have to have you guys back on and talk about your latest investigation. And Gisele, I'm not sure if I'm saying this, Gisele Cheong says, "Oh, The Bat," and gives it 3 thumbs up. So you must be a fan of Vincent Price or Agnes Moorehead, or just old movies in general. So Tom says, "Okay, I am here." Oh, you're on YouTube. Okay. And Jenny Lynn says, "Hi, Terrence." Terrence says, "Hi, Jenny," or Jeannie. My eyes are actually kind of, I'm having this issue again where they're kind of all watery. So you'll have to excuse me if I'm reading something wrong. Tom says, R.I.P., rest in peace, Dick Miller. Yes, Dick Miller passed away in I think it was January of just this year, just a short time ago. And who plays, of course, Walter Paisley on tonight's movie. Tim Gross. Come to Grossfest, people. Yes, go to Grossfest. We'll be dedicating a good bracket of tonight's programming for Grossfest. So we'll find out more on that. And if you don't know what Grossfest is, or you don't know what they do there, you're gonna know by the end of this show. So Tim says, nope, it's Tim. There's more of us grosses out there. Yes, Tim and Tom and all right, so that's good. Well, what do we got now? Okay, Bucket of Blood trailer. I don't think we need to do that. Okay, now, of course, tonight's movie is, once again, I want to thank David Long and Vicelli Pizza from Butler, Pennsylvania for sponsoring the program. The programs take a lot of time to do, and they're not, they do take time, and I very much appreciate the sponsorship, because without the sponsorship, I don't think we'd be doing the Friday Night Fright. So if you like the Friday Night Frights, be sure to thank, David Long, Vicelli Pizza, and then we had, of course, last month we had J.W. Burchick with his book Hybrid Dead. So I very much appreciate the sponsorship. It's very important for the show to continue, for the Friday Night Frights. And we're having a lot of fun with that. That's just something I thought of last year. I actually didn't come up with it. I had a couple people, Raymond and Tom Paisley, a couple people mentioned it to me that they'd like to see, a chatting while the movie's going on. I thought, what if we were able to get Jack Shadow here live while we're chatting with the movie, and then boom, Friday Night Frights was born. So that's how it happened. That's the story behind the story. And then, let's see. Looking forward to tonight. Leroy, drink up the sauce for me, guys. Tim Gross says, outside a Bucket of Blood, do you have a favorite appearance by Dick Miller in another film? I don't know if that's to me or just anybody in general. If anybody's welcome to answer that. I kind of like him as the Uncle Willie on Demon Knight, Tales from the Crypt's Demon Knight. I think that's kind of a funny role. He's such a good character actor. Like I said, I mentioned this one time. Even if you don't know him, you know him. If you've watched movies in the last 30 years or 50 years or whatever, I mean, you've known Dick Miller, you'll recognize him. Easily recognizable character actor, of course. And then Corpus is putting the slices of pizza. A tribute, no doubt, to acknowledge Vocelli's. Tim says, mine is Death Race 2000. Oh, you know, I've actually not even seen that one. Cassandra said, love them in The Howling. The Howling, of course, yeah. So, wow, what an onslaught of movies Dick Miller has been in. So, Nick says, is it me or is the video kind of blurry? Oh, is it? Is anybody else seeing that as well? I hope it's not. It's real clear on... My eyes aren't especially clear tonight, but on what I'm looking at here, it's very clear. So hopefully that's just... Okay, Corpus says, looks pretty crisp to me. Okay, good. Well, maybe, Nick, maybe it's your screen tonight. Who knows? I hope I hope that's not the case, but we don't want it to be on this end either. But now this week Ava says you're fine here. Okay, cool. And Leroy says, bro, have a great show. Love you. Oh, you got to get going? Or okay, well, thank you, Leroy. Appreciate you stopping by. Nick says, must just be me. And David says, the castle in the background is absolutely clear. Do you like the background? I actually put Jack Shadow's Castle Shadow in the background. And I don't know if you've been seeing that in the last couple of weeks. I actually have torches lit. See? Right there. And then if you watch right about in here, every once in a while you'll see a ghost come out. And just the little visual bells and whistles that I like to throw in there every once in a while. Okay. Now this week was a pretty cool week. We had the debut of the we had our first watch party on the Chiller Night group page. We established we put together a Chiller Night group page, myself and Corpus. So we threw that together, and we had our first movie Thursday night, 8 p.m. We watched Trilogy of Terror. So, and I know there have been some watch parties on there since, but that was our very first. That was kind of the kickoff to the Chiller Night group, and I want to thank Corpus for doing that. And I know that Brad's been putting some on there as well, a few watch parties too. Let's see. Ava says the little ghost floating. Yes. Corpus says mixes vodka in Sprite. Can't find any plasma. Dang it. Well, keep looking. It'll be worth it. And Cassandra says, love the little ghost. My goodness. What is wrong with me? Well, anyways, so I want to thank Corpus once again for doing so much on that group page. So she's been doing quite a bit, and I really love seeing Trilogy of Terror. Really cool movie. I haven't seen that since I was a little kid. Probably came out in what, 75. So I was probably, what, 7 maybe? I don't know. I just remember being so creeped out by the little African voodoo doll or whatever he was. So that's the last time I saw the movie. So I was really looking forward to seeing that Thursday night. So let's see. All right, now what we have here is we're going to be talking with Tom Gross, who is heading up the Gross Fest this year. So let me get him on the phone and we'll talk. Like I said, I let Tom know this is kind of whatever he wants to. If you guys have any questions about anything, about guests coming on, about vendor, I believe all the vendors have been filled. All the vendor slots have been full for a while. Seems like it's quite an event. This will be my first time going. Ava and I, we already got our rooms quite a while ago down there. We're going to be going down on a Friday night and staying Friday nights all day Saturday and then coming home on Sunday. So let me find Tom's number. Aha! Here we go. Whoops. All right.
Hello?
Tom!
Hey.
Hey, it's Brian. You're on Chiller Night Live. How you doing tonight?
Good. How are you?
Very good, very good. Thank you for joining me tonight. And
Thank you for having me.
oh, absolutely. This will be fun. I'm going to put your picture up here while I'm talking. All right. All right. You are officially on the screen.
All right.
So I wanted to talk to you about Gross Fest. I know that there are several viewers who've expressed that they want to go, and I know Ava and I will be going, and Cassandra Blue, of course, Diana and David Sylvia will be going as well. So what can you tell us about Gross Fest?
Well, Gross Fest is, a little different than any other horror convention, as we're going towards more the independent filmmakers.
Okay.
Give them a chance. They don't get the same chance as the bigger movie makers, and you never know, one of these people may be the next George Romero.
Right.
So we, give them a chance to get their movies out there to people that would never have heard of them before.
Now, will there be screenings of their movies?
Yes, we do have movies playing all day. Some of them are from the people that will be there, our guests. So they'll be running from the time the convention starts till I think 10 o'clock in the evening.
Oh wow, that's a long night. Wow, that's
yeah. So if you see a movie and you like it, you can go in and buy it.
No, okay. So the event will be going on from what time until what time now?
It is from 11 p.m. till 7. The vendor room is open until 7. The movies are going to go a little later than that.
Oh, okay. So this is an evening event.
Yeah, 11. Well, it starts at 11 a.m.
Oh, a.m. Okay.
Yeah, a.m. And then till 7 p.m. the vendor room closes. But like I said, we will be showing movies past that.
Okay. Now you have and this is your second one, correct?
Yes.
And this is it at the same location? Where's that going to be?
It is at a different location than last year.
Okay.
We got a bigger place now. It is at the DoubleTree Hotel in Washington, right in front of the casino.
Okay, and that's just south of Pittsburgh, a little ways, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. All right. Now you'll have some guests there. Like Tom Savini's going to be there, and John Russo. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah, that is correct.
That'll be cool. Who else will be there as far as your guests?
Let me think here. No, I'm going blank.
Put you on the spot.
Yeah.
Well, I know those were like the two real big names that are going to be there. Yeah. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, some of the other people, most people probably never heard of.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're trying to do, is get other, these people some exposure.
Right. Now, there are going to be vendors there throughout the day, and now your vendor spots are completely full, right?
Yes, the main room is completely full, and we actually have some vendors in the hallway.
Okay.
Because we had such a great response.
Wow. Now I'm reading some of the Corpus says, Mr. Gross. And then Brad says, I'd love to go. And Janice says, Brad, please try to make it. I'm just reading some of the comments here as we're on live here. Let's see. Somebody said, or Terrence says 340 Racetrack Road?
Yeah, it's on Racetrack Road.
Okay. And then, let's see. Terrence says Justin Seaman, Zane Hirschberger, Craig Everett, Earl.
Those are our guests.
Right. I'm trying to see if there's no breaks in between, so I'm not sure if I'm compressing the names together. Craig Everett, Earl Justin Channel, Glenn Burgotts, Dustin Wade, Mills, Fred and Shelby Vogel, Tom Savini, of course, and Henrik Koto and Brian Paulin. And I am sorry, I probably chopped those names up,
I think you did pretty good.
Okay.
And thanks, Terrence, for that help.
Yeah. Thank you, Terrence. And then Corpus says, long live indie films. And Nick says, I'm definitely going to go. Oh, that's cool. So I know there's probably about 4 or 5 of us here that are viewing that are going to be heading down there.
Yeah, that's good. I think it's going to be, better than last year.
I'm looking forward to that. I'm really
that's our point, is to get better every year.
Oh, bigger. Yeah. Now, what made you think to do this? I mean, you founded this, right? I mean, you totally founded this.
Well, yeah, kind of.
Okay.
With a little help from my brother and Terrence.
Okay.
But yeah, this actually started out as a joke because there was another horror convention in Pittsburgh. I'm sure everybody knows who I'm talking about, and they decided to stop doing conventions.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So somebody said, "Hey, to my brother, you should do your own." And it was like, ha, yeah, okay. And I'm like, yeah, we'll call it Gross Fest. And I'm like, that's, as a joke, I started a Facebook page for Gross Fest.
Uh-huh.
And it just, people joined it, and people are like, are you really going to do this? And I'm like, and we talked about it, and I said, maybe we should try. And Terrence actually contacted my brother and said, is this real? And he's like, talk to my brother.
Uh-huh.
And, pretty much me and Terrence started talking, and we got it all together and said, let's do this.
That's really cool. And Terrence says Jack Shadow, and then David says, don't forget Jack Shadow will be there. Brad says, Gross Fest, one of best indie film festivals in Pennsylvania, let alone the nation. Jenny says, Jenny, I'm sorry if I'm... Awesome, we thank you for your support. And Tim says, it's a destination spot for filmmakers to network with each other.
Exactly.
That's really cool.
Yeah, but you never know. They can meet somebody and make a movie together, whereas they would never have met before.
Yeah, a real good place for networking. And then Corpus says, that's awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to that. I know I'll be down there as Jack Shadow, and of course Ava will be down there as Aura, the witch, and I don't know if I can't imagine that I'll be there all day as Jack Shadow. I'll probably have to set a certain time. Jack Shadow will appear from this time to this time, but
right.
Yeah, that's a long day. That's a long day.
It is.
But boy, I'm looking forward to that. Ava and I used to go on our weekends. We used to go to something called the Midwest Haunters Convention when we were running haunted houses, and I was kind of, it was just a weekend, but it was kind of a nice little getaway. They had them in Columbus, Ohio, and they stopped doing them there. In fact, this year was the first year that they switched it to Chicago. So I really didn't want to go there, and I thought, well. And I seen this one, David and Diana. They told me about Gross Fest, so I'm looking forward to going down there and maybe making that. That's probably going to be my new summer weekend getaway. So
it's going to be fun.
Looking forward to it. Well, let's see if there's any other comments here. Tim says it's okay. I already read that one. Leroy says, I'm so sorry I can't make martinis tonight. Okay. Tim says, some of these people who will be at Gross Fest have worked on several projects that have been on Amazon Prime, Netflix, Hulu, etc. Oh, that's pretty cool. So some of them are pretty well experienced in movie making.
Yes, they are.
And then Jeannie says, good job, Tom. Brad says, Pennsylvania, one of the best perfect states to film a movie with tax cuts. Okay. Terrence Main says, yay, David and Diana. I suppose if you were making a movie, you probably would shop around a little bit if you could, as far as stuff like that. That's something I wouldn't have thought of, but
right.
I suppose a movie maker would probably keep that in mind. And then Terrence says, Tom Gross, when we going fishing? Now, I think we all want to know when Terrence and Tom are going fishing. Well, he's not. Okay. All right. Terrence, I don't think he's going to answer you.
We'll talk about that later.
Tim says, the Silvios are legends of the independent filmmaking world. Yes, they've done a lot. They've done quite a bit. And then Denise says, when you get a real tackle box. We're still on the fishing topic. Well, that's pretty neat. Now that's going to be running all day Saturday from 11 a.m. until
7 p.m.
7 p.m.
Yes.
Okay, and then and it's one day. It's just all day Saturday, correct?
Correct. For now.
For now, okay.
We're going to, expand eventually here. It's just, we got to take it slow and not get ahead of ourselves,
Yeah, well, that's smart to do it that way.
Yeah, we don't want to get ahead. We want to be able to put on the best show we can.
Right.
We don't want to make it too cheap,
Yeah. Well, that's really neat that that you've got these people, the independents who are coming out the network, and you got Tom Savini, you got John Russo, of course, the big names in horror movie history, right there from Pittsburgh's very own. And then,
and plus we have vendors selling different horror type things and authors.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. You're going to have all kinds of vendors, and like we mentioned, the vendor booths are all, the vendor spots are all sold out, right?
Yes, that's correct.
And then Tim says, does Mr. Shadow have any plans for Gross Fest? Anything special, or just seeing what it's like? Well, I will be down there. I think I will be seated beside David and Diana Sylvia, and we will have a table where we'll be having our photographs, autograph pictures. Maybe we'll sell DVDs. Maybe we'll I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do yet. I'm trying to make a game plan here before July. And speaking of that, it is Saturday, July 20th. So, it sounds far away, but it'll be here before you know it.
Yes, it will.
So, well, I think if anybody has any plans to go to Gross Fest, they can. Isn't there a code that they can use to get a discount off the room, like G19 or something like that?
Yeah, it's GF19.
GF19 for Gross Fest.
Yes.
19. Okay,
yes.
Very good. All right. Well, is there anything else, Tom, you'd like to add?
I don't think so. Just appreciate everybody coming down to support us. Without everybody coming down, we couldn't do it. Mm-hmm. So.
Well, I hope that we can get the word out on our end, and we just, with what you're doing, I think that's great, and I know people are hungry for it, Tom. They're just hungry for anything dealing with horror, and not necessarily even horror, but just the whole independent, the whole independent movies, and it's not just movies though. It's art and books and stuff like that, right? I mean, it's everything.
Yes.
Everything.
Yes.
All right.
We have a little bit of everything to try to satisfy everybody.
Well, that's cool. Looking forward to it very, very much, and I'm glad that I'll actually be meeting some of the people that are on here every Saturday night that I see chatting away and interacting with. A lot of people I've never met, so I'm looking forward to going down there and meeting you and Terrence and Tim and everybody else here chatting away. So I appreciate you being on the show tonight.
All right, thank you.
Okay, well, you have a good night.
All right, you too.
All right, thanks.
Yep, bye.
Bye. All right, well, that's cool. Got to talk to Tom and learned a little bit more about Gross Fest, and I'm very much looking forward to that. So, and then Tim says tickets are only $10. Oh wow, that's a real good deal. And then Terrence put the link right there to grossfest.com. And so Cassandra says, I have a big popcorn machine and I want to give everyone popcorn at Gross Fest. I'll take some. And I'll be sitting at the table right next to you, so I'll help myself. And then Janine says, or Jenny says, I'm sorry. I am my. Thank you for giving Grossfest a shout out tonight. Oh, you're very welcome. Absolutely. I think it's a great thing. I'm like I said, I'm really looking forward to this. Ever since I've heard about it, I've just been really wanting to go. I think that's going to be a good time, a real good time. And then Cassandra says, thanks, Tom. Corpus says, Grossfest, definitely going to be sweet. Ava says, agree, I'm excited. Terrence says, thank you, Tom. Jenny says 8 feet and under are free admission. And then Brad says, well, it sounds fair. And then Brad says, when are you going, Brian? When? Oh, and then Corpus says, Tom Paisley has arrived. Tom Paisley is in the house. All right. When are we going? We're going down the Friday before. We're going down on the Friday, the night before, on the 19th. We'll be spending all day the 20th, and then we'll be heading back on Sunday. We're not that far away from it. I just wanted to kind of a little getaway. You know, it's not that far. You know, if you've heard me talk on here before, I'm actually not that far from Pittsburgh, from downtown Pittsburgh. So, but still, it's just kind of a nice little getaway. So, Ava says, hi, Tom. Tom says, yeah, just got home. Ack. Well, thanks for hopping on here and joining us. I really appreciate that. That's really cool. Tom, you just missed Tom. So Tom Gross was on here talking about Grossfest. So sounds like a real good time. Looking forward to it. And we'll be going down there July 20th, Saturday, July 20th. So, and if you want to see Jack Shadow and Aura, and I think Elle might be going too. I don't know for sure. I threw that out to her. I'm not sure if she is going, but Jack Shadow and Aura will be there. So, and then Nick says we will have to find a hotel near, and then Brad says, "Are they all booked?" I don't know. And then Brad says, "Are you doing Chiller Night pre-show during Grossfest?" I'm gonna try to. Yeah. Well, I mean that's the plan, anyways. The plan is to do a pre-show, whether that's on a laptop that night, whether that's on a phone that night. We're going to get the pre-show in one way or the other. So yeah, we'll be doing the pre-show at 8 p.m. And then Terrence says, there is a Doubletree and Comfort Inn Holiday Inn around the area. And Tom says, I was wondering what all those thanks Toms were when I came in. Yeah, yeah, that would probably be a little like, what's going on? Corpus says, the place they are having it is a hotel, I believe. Yes. Yes. And then there are also other hotels near there, some cheaper ones. Okay. Well, that's cool. And then, well, that was nice of Tom to stop by tonight and talk to us and explain to you, all of you, what Grossfest is. And kind of explain to me, too, because I really didn't know all of what was going to be going on that day. So that's really cool. Pittsburgh. Well, we're trying to get on TV in Pittsburgh. Chiller Night Theater. So, crossing our fingers, hoping all goes well. Keep sending those positive chiller vibes, and before you know it, we'll be on WPXI's PCNC, the Pittsburgh Cable News Channel or something like the PC. I always get the N and the C mix. The Pittsburgh Cable News Channel. Okay, that's it. We'll be on that, and hopefully, and if we do get on that channel, hopefully that's very, very soon, like very soon. And we're in this discussions about that, so. That would be great. If that happens, that would be outstanding. I don't know if I showed you. I did show you this last week. I'll show you again in case you weren't here. But there's the PCNC coverage map. So that hits a good deal of Pennsylvania. It hits parts of West Virginia and Ohio. So I'm pretty happy with that. 850,000 subscribers. Oh, all right. So. But I'm pretty happy about that. So we'll be crossing our fingers, and well, been doing a lot more than that. So we're really getting on the phone, going down there, having meetings, and talking on the phone, exchanging emails, you know, da 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 da. It's been a process. It is a process. It's in motion. So I'm very encouraged. I'm very encouraged about what I'm seeing. And then Tim says we can help you do the pre-show from Grossfest. Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be real cool. And then Tom says it's at the Doubletree Hotel. I don't know if I already read that, but it's at the Doubletree Hotel. That's where we're going to be. And then David says we'll be drinking champagne during the Grossfest pre-show taping. Yeah, maybe I will too. And then Ava says you should show the article I found today. Oh, I would, but I don't have it loaded on the OBS studio. And last week, if you recall, I was trying to pull up Corpus's picture on here. Now, normally that's not a problem. I can do that. But because my computer's been giving me strange issues here lately, everything just shut down. Like I said, it didn't just freeze. Everything like shut down. It actually disappeared off the computer. So I'm a little afraid to do that. But I have the newspaper. It's an article about. I'll put it up for next week as it gets it'll be a little closer to the anniversary date of when this actually happened. It's an article that's in the local paper in Venango County about Bill Cardell being a guest on the Chiller Night Theater. When Chiller Night Theater first debuted as Chiller Night Theater, it was called something else for years. And then as we switched over to Chiller Night Theater, Bill Cardell was on our very first show. So it's an article about that, about the show, and mentions about Bill Cardell, of course, legendary host of Chiller Theater back in the day. And then Brad says they're going to love Jack Shadow in the Pittsburgh station. I certainly hope they do. And then Tom says, I don't see Alabama on that map. No, but fortunately, it'll still be streaming on Stream TV. If anybody's wondering, like I don't know if WP. It's also going to be on WPXI Now app. I don't know exactly what that is. I'll be honest, because I'm not one of these guys that's on the iPads and devices all that much. But I don't know what that means exactly. I just know that that's what's being talked about. So, and I don't know if that channel has a streaming service. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Stream TV still will though. So it'll still be going on. Nothing's going to change on Stream TV's end. It's gonna be like it is now. So nothing will change on that. I just think it'll be kind of neat though to get on a Pittsburgh station of that magnitude, with that many subscribers. I think that'll be really cool. Like to get the Chiller Show started again in Pittsburgh. So, and then Tom says they need a bigger transmitter. Yes, they do. Corpus says, what's this article? Oh, that's the one I was talking about. I know there was a delay. Probably made sense when you wrote it, but I'm slow. I'm always behind the curve. Corpus says, I broke the internet. Ah, yeah, you shut everything down, Corpus. And then, or at least your computer. And then Brad says, what did you do, Corpus? What did you do? And Tim says, most likely an app for Fire Stick, Roku, etc. Yeah, I'm sure that's what it is. I'm not as familiar with that kind of thing, but, I will be by the time this gets up and running. And Ava says, I have all three with me. Oh, the cats. Oh, David says, where's your cat today? Yes, I told Ava, they're not coming in here. No, not tonight. Not tonight. And then Tim says, you ever thought of showing Jagoff Massacre on your show since it's Pittsburgh related? I've never heard of that. I have no idea what that is. I don't know. I don't know how to answer that. I'll have to see what that is, and if it's something that I can show, I'll show it. I've never heard of that. Is it independent movie? I take it, or is it just take place in Pittsburgh? Do tell. All right. Corpus says, "Devil cats, devil cats," and then she says, Cassandra says, "Aw, kitties." So, all right. Well, that's that. That's the news there. That's with how things are going. I thought I'd give that a mention. You know, so you know what's going on. I did talk to somebody from the TV station this week, and good things are happening. The fan of the week. The fan of the week. I didn't. Now here's the thing. The fan of the week is Terrence Main. Now Terrence sent me a picture, and now that will be on Stream TV tonight. I didn't have time to load the picture up because I didn't get the picture yet from the TV station. Not the TV station's fault. It's actually my fault because I sent it to him so late. And they couldn't get back around to me, put it together and get me a copy before 8 o'clock tonight. So, but Terrence Main is going to be the fan of the week tonight on Stream TV. I will be posting the picture just like I do every week for fan of the week, so congratulating Terrence. And so he is the fan of the week for Chiller Night Theater. So thank you Terrence, for submitting your picture and for participating there. And then Tim says it's independent. Oh, the movie you were talking about. Okay. And then Tim says, but serious question, what is your favorite Living Dead film? Night, dawn, day, or land? I'm going to say day. The Day of the Dead, to me, there's something so dismal about it. It just seems like, and maybe it's that claustrophobic feel of being underground in the mines and stuff, in the underground facility, and then you got zombies down there, you got zombies up above, and you're trapped in, I mean, these people are not, they're survivors, but they're not free by any means because they're under the military opposition and everything. I don't know. To me, it just seems so like a horrible situation to be in. Not that the others are any better. There are no picnics either. But to me, that's just my, you're asking me what mine is. I'd say that. Plus, I think the special effects, the Tom Savini and Greg Nicotero special effects are just amazing in that movie. When the guy is rolling off the table and all of his guts and rib cage and everything slides off, and then of course the one where the guy's laying on the table and you just see his head's been dissected and his brain's the only thing that is attached to his body. Just incredible effects. And effects don't make the movie, but when it's an interesting movie to begin with and has those great effects, How about you guys? What are some of your favorites here? Let's see. Thank you. Not many of us talk about Day and how it is the best. Yeah. That's I've just always been such a fan. It's such a I don't know, a ghoulish picture. There's something just dark, very dark movie, And then Tim says, your thoughts on Night of the Living Dead 1990? My thoughts on that movie, I love that movie. I enjoy, sacrilege, but I enjoy watching the 90 remake better than the original. I absolutely do. Again, Tom Savini is just fantastic. He's a master illusionist, to pull off the effects that he does in that film. Again, effects are not the greatest, part of a movie, but when you have a good movie and they happen to have great effects, wow, all the better. That's just icing on the cake. But that's my opinion on it. I love watching it. I really enjoy watching the 90 remake. I think personally it's underrated. I think it should be in fact, when I had Tom Savini on my show and as a guest in my haunted house years ago, it was back then like 2008, he even asked me, he says, well, we were playing Night of the Living Dead. He said, why not play, how about playing the remake? I said, I would love to play the remake, but I don't have the license to play the remake. And if I had the license, of course I would absolutely love to play that movie. And then let's see. Terrence says, Night will always be my favorite. And then Ava says, sorry if you can hear me. Yes, I could hear you. I don't know if they could, but that's okay. It seems to be over now. Corpus says, can't go wrong with Alfred Hitchcock. No, you can't. And I've noticed several watch parties were Alfred Hitchcock content, so that's pretty cool. And then Tim says, Day of the Dead rules. Love it. And then, of course, Bill Cardell's daughter, Lori, was the main character in that, so that's kind of neat. Greg Nicotero obviously was in the movie as well. And I saw that head, that prop. I actually got to see that prop when I was in Pittsburgh, so that's pretty cool. Tim says, do you believe the remake got a fair shake at the theaters and critics at the time? Because I thought it was 10 years before its time. I don't know. I don't know. Honestly, when that came out, like, I loved it. I thought it was great. I didn't have, of course, like the internet and stuff, so I didn't really know what people were saying about it, to be truthful. Because during that time, like in the early 90s, I was at the Art Institute of Pittsburgh. I was going through that. And of course, everybody, was raving about the 1990, Night of the Living Dead, remake. And Tom would stop into the school to visit, like, Jerry Gergely or some of the other instructors, everybody would be like, oh, it's Tom Savini, And then it was kind of neat, yes. I remember one time, having a box of props from the movies, the various movies, and, got to kind of pass them around and look at them. So that was pretty cool. And then, let's see here. Missing some comments. So some Corpus says, whoa, those are some strong words there. Yes. And then Nick says, wondered what string words were. Tim says, do you believe the Blair Witch Project ever happens if Cannibal Holocaust never exists? I think so. I mean, Hannibal Holocaust was it was very unique, to say the least. I don't know. I mean, were they, now that's something maybe you can answer. Were they inspired by that movie in any way? I don't know the answer to that. I just thought that these guys got together and put together this new idea for the Blair Witch Project, which was amazingly successful. I love that movie. I know that that's sometimes not the cool thing to say, but I don't know why. I think that was a great movie. I think, again, I just got pulled into it. I got pulled into that movie like I seldom get pulled into movies, and I was there. You know what I mean? I was, and that's a one-time shot. You can't watch that movie 2-3 times in a row, and still get that same initial response or feeling, and it got me, I loved it. Man, I got the chills watching that movie. And if I don't get the chills watching that, it's like a good ghost story, and I think that's what we're all looking for when we're looking to be scared by a story or a book or a movie. You want that cold chill up the spine, and I certainly got it with that and The Exorcist. When I first saw The Exorcist, and I very much enjoyed it. I'm going to be hopefully I know I'm missing some of these. Let's see. I'm just trying to catch up on the comments here. Tim says, do you ever think Hollywood will ever pull off a remake of Creature from the Black Lagoon? John Carpenter has a script out there in the early 90s, but nothing ever came of it. If John Carpenter is involved, I say it has a huge chance. I love John Carpenter's movies. I think he is one of the best out there. I think the man is a true artist. I really do. Not only with his filming, but the sound, the pacing, and the music. The music that a lot of times he's coming up with his own music. But I could sit and watch John Carpenter movies all day. I think that he is exceptionally, you know, he's one of the masters at horror. I really do. I think very highly of him. Tim says, what is Vincent Price better in House on Haunted Hill or House of Wax? I don't know. That's a good one. What do you guys think? That's a real good one. Ava says Hostel. Oh yeah, that's a creepy. Yeah, I know she was creeped out by that movie. She was real creeped out by that. And then Terrence says Blair Witch Rules, and Cassandra says I love The Exorcist. Nick says Wrong Turns. Oh yeah, the Wrong Turn movies. They were entertaining. Tom says John Carpenter's The Thing is an absolute work of art. Yeah, it sure is. He's done so many, you know, so many, and even some of the ones that he's done that are so good and so creepy and so, you know, there's that ominous feeling of just that impending doom, you know, like the, you know, Prince of Darkness, you know, I don't know, like I said, you know, that the movie, the soundtrack, you know, that movie, the music pacing with the visual, you know, to me, and I'm big on sound, like in my haunts. That's a real important thing, because I think a lot of people don't put as much thought into it as I do, and I'm real big on that, because that's a huge sense, you know. You're hearing something a lot of times. I mean, you know, think back to your elemental fears when you're a child. You know, a lot of it's not from what you're seeing, it's what you're not seeing and hearing. So I just think that what a perfect blend he does, you know, mixing, you know, what you're seeing on film with the sound and the pacing, you know. But anyways, I'm rambling. We got 10 minutes. I'm gonna get the 10-minute warning here pretty quick. Let's see. Tim says Carpenter had the greatest run as a filmmaker for decades. Yes, he has. I particularly like his stuff in the late 70s and throughout the 80s. What a time. What a time of him to shine. Not that his other stuff was less, but I don't know. I particularly love that era of his. Corpus says the first one has Henry Rollins in it. Gotta love that. Any movie where someone's wife is hanged is great in my book. Oh, House on Haunted Hill. And I assume that's what you mean. Then Brad says so many very good horror movies and TV shows. Tim Gross says Prince of Darkness works now more than ever. Yeah. And then Tom says I love that movie. That's actually that's up there in my top 10 favorite horror movies. It really is. I just love that movie. Along with They Live. Assault on Precinct 13 is underrated. And Corpus says, man, Prince of Darkness, great flick. Yeah. It just boy, it's got that creep factor, you know. I just love that. David says Vincent is real cool in House on Haunted Hill, and then 10 minutes until Chiller Night Theater, Brad says. And Tim says In the Mouth of Madness is great. Nick says I don't know why, but Vampires by Carpenter I always watch when I see it on. You know, that's one I've only seen that movie one time, and that was back when it first came out. So I gotta say I don't really remember that one that well. But I was watching this thing on, you know, the Eli Roth's History of Horror or something like that. The special that was on back in the fall, and I remember watching that, and that reminded me about that movie. I don't know if they mentioned it on there or not, but I was thinking, boy, I'd like to see that movie again. So I'll have to check that one out. Ava says, I better catch up and watch some of these. Yes. Well, don't you worry. We will. I'll get you caught up, baby. And Tim says, any thoughts on Universal Studios killing off the Dark Universe that was supposed to be creatures in the roles of the Avengers? Supposed to be creatures in the roles of the Avengers. Really? I did not know that. I didn't know that. I thought I heard about them killing off the Dark Universe, but I didn't know. You mean Creature from the Black Lagoon was going to be part of the Avengers? Am I understanding that right? I didn't know that, if that's what you're saying. As far as them killing off the Dark Universe, I don't know. I'm not saying that, you know, remakes or new movies can't be good. I just know that a lot of them aren't. Um, I've brought this up before. War of the Worlds. I actually like that one. I like that as a remake. Again, that's not the cool thing to say, you know. But I thought it was a very entertaining movie. I enjoyed it. I own that one. But as far as like The Mummy, kind of a bubblegum horror movie. You know, entertaining if you know, you want to sit and watch a, you know, entertaining family movie, sure. But as far as like a horror movie, it didn't do anything for me. So I'm not saying it was a bad movie, but it wasn't. It just didn't have that feel. You know what I mean? It had the big production, you know, feel about it. But I don't know if they would have done it right. You know, they were introducing all the monsters and stuff. But then I will submit this idea to you too. Universal did it too. They did it too. As much as we want to hold on to the nostalgia and lift that up, and we should. I mean, there's certain reverence there because they were the first. You know, they brought us these amazing monsters, you know, and creatures of our nightmares: Dracula, Frankenstein, the Wolfman, the Mummy, Bride of Frankenstein, Creature from Black Lagoon, Phantom of the Opera. You know, they brought us these, and they should be, you know, that should have the utmost respect. But if on the other, you know, House of Frankenstein, House of Dracula, just fun movies, but they were doing it too. You know, and I have to remind myself of that every once in a while when I see these movies coming out, and I think, you know, they kind of did that back then too. They're still a lot of fun. I love watching them. I was just watching Ghost of Frankenstein last week. I love that one. But I mean, Ghost of Frankenstein at least is a continuation. When they get into the house of movies, that's when, you know, it's just kind of big dumb fun, and it's just fun to watch. Are they really going for quality there? I don't think so. At that point. Tim says all the Universal creatures were going to have their own origin stories. Oh, they were going to team up. Okay, that's what I thought, that they were going to put them all together, mix them all together. And then Nick says, I agree, some remakes just don't cut it. You know, if they got I will say this real quick, if they got the right person for the job, and this, that makes a world of difference. My opinion, somewhat subjective, but pretty much objective too, when it comes to, like, okay, the next Star Wars movie trailer came out this week. Okay, that's a good example of, you know my opinion on that. Most of you know I couldn't stand that movie. I couldn't stand it. That's a big budget, great trailer, pulled me in, and then I watched it. That's a good example of getting the wrong writer. And if you like that movie, I'm glad you liked it. Okay, I'm just telling you, I couldn't stand it. What a heaping pile of garbage that movie was, in my eyes, in my opinion. And a lot of other fans too. But what I'm saying is, when you don't get the right person for the job, now look at Cobra Kai. My gosh, these guys came back and they're writing Karate Kid characters and making a fortune because people can't get enough of it. Somebody did something right. And it all depends. The point I'm illustrating here is, it just matters on who you get to do the job. You get the wrong person for the job, you know, it ain't gonna work. You'll have Van Helsing. You know, that movie, it looked more like a cartoon than in my opinion. But anyways, hey folks, we got a couple minutes left. Cassandra's loved talking with you all tonight. Me too. I think this was a good show, and it was really cool that Tom was on here talking to us about Gross Fest. And Tom says, thanks for having me on to talk about Gross Fest. Can't wait to meet everybody. And then Brad says, hey, let's go to group chat during Chiller Night Theater. I'm not sure if I can right now, Brad. Maybe, and the others might be able to. I'm not sure what I got going on right now. Tim says, John Carpenter was supposed to be the director of Creature from Black Lagoon in the early 90s, but never happened. The script is still out there on the internet. Boy, if they could get him to do it, I would have a lot of faith that that's going to be a good project. Nick says, I hate too much CGI also. I do. Yeah, if it's done right. Again, get the right person for the job, and you can pull off a really good movie. Look at some of these Marvel movies. I mean, you know, like some of them are really subpar, but a lot of them are very very well done, and they have a lot of CGI, but they're done very well. Um, but I agree. Special effects are what George Lucas was saying. They're just a tool. If you don't have a good story without this, you know, if you don't have a good story to begin with, then it's gonna fall short. Um, but anyway, Brad says 2 minute warning. Ah, yes, the 2 minute warning. And now we're at, yeah. Tim says Carpenter's the Thing or the 1951 Thing from Another World. I'm gonna say Carpenter's the Thing, just because I'm such a fan of of John Carpenter, and Kurt Russell. I just love the work that those guys did together. Big Trouble in Little China. I don't know. Very enjoyable. Very enjoyable. Not to take anything away from the 1951 version, but I, that's the one I prefer to watch. I find it more entertaining to watch, but that's just me. But hey, everybody, it is 8:59. I'm going to let you go right now because Chiller Night Theater is coming up at 9 p.m. Fortunately, there is a slight delay. It's about a minute or two of a delay here. But anyways, I'm going to let you go now. Go to streammedia.tv, www.streammedia.tv, and you can watch Chiller Night Theater and Chiller Chat streamed all night long from 9 p.m. until about 3:30 a.m. every Saturday night. So thanks for joining me tonight. Thanks for interacting with myself and with each other. It's been a fun night. It went real quick, super quick, like always. And have a good night. Have a good chiller night. And we'll see you next week.